Welcome back, everyone, to our continued assault on the Isle of the Two Holy Grounds. How will this go? It is the enemy's turn. Let us see what the enemy will do. The enemy will foolishly try to defend their home base, but they just cannot deal enough damage. It's a pitiful attempt. It's a truly pitiful attempt in order for them to defend their lives and their homes. Let us quickly put them out of their misery. Lord Nicholas Frost is not entirely without mercy. Let us make sure that their imminent capture is quick, painless, and not cruel in any sort of way. This fire elemental, he's brave. He has done a good job in defending his base against some minor annoyance attacks. Even now he's proving to be a moderately tough nuts to crack. But all of his attempts are ultimately futile, because he has no way of defending himself against this relentless assault. And these ogres, which did a very good job in trying to defend their homes from any elvish attacks, have fallen prey to the inevitable elvish attacks which have come their way. But yes, as the end of the game draws near, we do have time to indulge in the finer things in life, such as the Dracolich, which is an extremely expensive unit, but something I will hopefully be able to afford in the very near future, as soon as I build some more gold income buildings and raise this final little piece of land in order for me to cross it without any hassle. There is now a method to Lichton without having to embark on the water. Fantastic. Let us begin the turn's upkeep in constructing buildings in all these places which do need to have buildings constructed in them. As usual, Anna the Benign is trying her best to send Ghost Wolf after Ghost Wolf to its doom into my recently captured Goldale village, but as predicted it will die. And since she was so negligent in her defense, I will be adding Fortwick to my grand list of conquests in this game. There is little she can do, and can only watch in terror as Fortwick is stained blue, the colour of frost. Not necessarily the colour of Christmas, but the colour of frost nonetheless. Let's construct a building in a newly constructed Fortwick. Let's construct a fort for Fortwick. And let's level up our valiant attacker with some increased regeneration, just so he can maintain his relentless assault on her grounds very effectively. I do have the ability to recruit Minotaurs at the moment in Fortwick, but it's not that useful to me. I have much better units than the silly little Minotaurs. I may consider actually deconstructing that silly little Minotaur palace and instead introducing them to a Minotaur labyrinth. Instead of being valuable forces, those Minotaurs will indeed be training for my units. Very good training. And it seems like these skeleton veterans are finally going to die. After causing a great amount of harassment, the one which will deal the final blow will of course be my very brave green bats, who were monumental in the capturing of Lichton in the first place. I like those green bats. They are very useful to me. I should give them some kind of benefit in order for their remain service to me. What shall I give them? I do not know yet. It is something I will decide in the near future. Let's reconsolidate our forces around Fort Wick. And hopefully we can quell her pathetic assaults. What can I attack? What can I possibly attack? Oh yes, the warriors down there. One final turn for the fire elemental, and it appears to have died, leaving the holy grounds completely defenseless and ready for settling. With their job done, my hunters and elven archers re-embark upon the water, ready to spread my will further across the lands. I do have my eye on the north, so I might devote a little bit of my attention to destroying these ogres, which are attempting to defend their place. Will they be successful? Of course they will not be. Send some scouts up, and you can march down here and see that there's Renshire. Let's try to attack Renshire. Slowly, surely, and inevitably, her base is slowly whittled down. Not exactly sure how I was going to go with that, but I managed to say something which made some sort of sense. So that is a small victory for me. Oh, Anna the Benign, how the mighty have fallen. You just cannot get over your obsession with attacking my forts, which ultimately are very useless to me. Those bears have got to go. Those bears have got to go.
Congratulations! You have successfully researched a new spell, my lord.
I cannot tolerate them anymore. And thus they must die. Let's see, Green Castle. Let's get some money up in this place. All of the money! Every single piece of money is going to be mine. And let's reconstruct that recently destroyed fort. She tries to send some settlers across, which are ultimately destroyed. And apparently I can return fire on their forts. But the work of a warlord is never done. And I've got a new target in my sights. The small, sleepy little village of Renshire. Which is, of course, as usual, not long for this world. Don't even know why I gave the bat sharp tooth. They've been useful in attacking. Maybe I will continue attacking with them.
Settlers.
Maybe they will be my sole useful group of bats I've got.
Clear-eyed and ready.
Will that be fun? Possibly. In fact, with my assaults going so fantastically well on the enemy, what I might do instead is just declare war on my ally.
Let's have some fun.
With the war on my ally, then I should be able to destroy him. Not long after I take out Anna the Benign. Let's see if I can send something up here to take over the little portal. Go, imps! Explore that way, see what you can see.
Cavalry!
You wish.
And peasant settlers go up and settle closer to the magic node there. It's a bit of a shame that I haven't had the opportunity to explore that much of the other worlds, but that only really becomes necessary if the enemies hold on for a bit longer. It's a bit of a shame because you can actually recruit dragons and so forth in the place if you manage to take it over. Each one of the other worlds has a fantastic dragon place. Very useful. Very, very useful. But very expensive as well. Which means that unless you absolutely definitely need it, then you probably won't get that much opportunity to do that. What I might do is actually send my flying galleass down here, see what it can do. And here, I'll construct a market. And recruit a group of Minotaurs, because, yay, Minotaurs. I gotta have at least one group of them to satisfy my minimum Minotaur requirements. A Leviathan has come to say hello on my sleepy little island, and Sunville, in the grand holiday tradition, shoots it. It's a fantastic method of greeting. And finally we get to build our city next to the holy grounds. Once this city is constructed,
A new city has been founded, my lord.
what I'm going to do is destroy my farm and then work on completing the quest, which is 1 Temple to Chrome. I believe it's a Temple to Chrome. Let's just make sure about that. Yep, Temple to Chrome. So, in 5 turns, we shall complete our quest and have access to a fantastic unit called the High Blade Masters. So, our Blade Master, I should say, will have a buddy which will be monumental in assisting him in combat. Oh, damn it. Just attack the ogre, please.
Robbers, stupid.
And now it's dead. Gonna send my settlers up this way to settle probably next to the magic node, as well as the silver resource. There's a dwarven settlement there,
Elven archers.
but I'm not sure if I need dwarves at this point. Maybe. And it might be worth the investment, so I might actually do that. I don't know, there's so much stuff for me to do. I cannot decide on just one thing. How can I possibly be expected to decide on just one? Oh boy.
Just name it.
Since my High Blade Master's not doing anything special at the moment, I'm going to send him to the Mystic Portal across the water. He was going to have a grand assault through the swamplands and the mountains, but since he can walk on water now, he's going to go with his old buddy, the Chosen Warrior, to explore the other world up there.
Warriors.
Which is what I am going to do in this game. End turn, see what happens. At this point of the game, there's absolutely nothing that my enemies can do to stop me. I could crush them and win with a straight up victory, but there are other more creative ways of scoring victories as well. I could become a god's favorite and destroy his opposing god's avatar, which is an extremely difficult objective to complete, and is actually a lot harder than just flat out destroying the artificial intelligence. When I get fully aligned with one god, then the opposing god, in this case since I'm worshipping Cribja, Agrilla will send her avatar of Agrilla to come and destroy me. A very, very powerful life priestess person who will come and just completely own me with her super massive overpowered unit abilities. It should be interesting, so maybe I'll do that instead. Because as my forces march throughout Anna the Benign's place and just devastate her forces, then it's becoming increasingly apparent that there's no way that she can stop me. What I will do is save up enough money so when my temple is built, I will have access to my fantastic Warriors of Chrome, which is very useful. I didn't even mean to do that, but whatever. I'm making very silly mistakes at this point of the game. Something which may cost me the game if I'm not careful, especially if I continue to misclick on the map. And there appears to be a Kraken here, which is going to destroy that transport cog I thought I could send up and assist, but evidently not. Alright, Anna the Benign is trying her best to attack. And she's got the idea and started to build some forts. That's pretty useful. Maybe they'll stop my advance. Or maybe they'll do absolutely nothing. My money's on the absolutely nothing.
Don't do that. A new spell has been researched, my lord.
So, since that Kraken has completely abandoned his Kraken's nest, what I'm going to do is walk up and handily overtake it. If he's going to destroy my stubborn knights, I'm going to get some monetary income in compensation. Earth elementals. Since he's standing in the water, I don't think they can actually attack him. So while he's happily out of reach of them, he can do stuff like perform devastating master cleaves. And let's commit a heresy and learn how to summon fire elementals of our own, because Mr. Frost, in his grand ability and ownership of everything, must also prove that he has complete and utter mastery over the opposing forces as well. So even fire bows down to the great Lord of Winter. He sent some veterans to Fort Wick to try to retake it, but since I've relocated my vampires back there, it doesn't look like he's going to be very successful with that. Especially since the Rat Prince is going around putting his unruly rat subjects back in their place. The Kraken is continuing to say hello to Sunville, which is not very healthy for him. And the Flying Galleus is continuing his brave adventure to the other. Oh, I'm tired of those bears. What can I do to stop them? Let's cast a lightning bolt. Which didn't actually kill them. How sad for me. I need to be careful when assaulting the undead because they have extreme resistances to my archers. My archers have, as you can probably tell and guess, ranged attacks. And skeletons have naturally high resistance to ranged attacks, especially since he's worshipping the Templar, since he's worshipping Lenord, which gives him even more resistance to ranged attacks. So attacking him is going to be a lot more difficult than attacking my other enemy. Alright. Ends the turn. What's gonna happen? Stuff is gonna move is what's gonna happen. They're going to happily move around. And down in the benign is probably sending me another peace treaty. One I'm naturally going to ignore. And her puny forces run around in a mad panic on her islands, without the ability to destroy even the most weakened and beset of forts. I say just as a group of little rats manages to walk up and destroy it. Thanks for making me look like an idiot, game. I will have my revenge on you. In a great big epic showdown of Ultimate Destiny, Chosen Warrior is in fisticuffs with a Kraken. How will he survive this? With massive resistances.
I'm back.
That's how. One Master Cleave on the island. And he's going to swiftly and handily mop up the elementals on there. But except he won't. Except the elementals will prove to be extremely hardy to take over. So let's send him some assistance, shall we? Let's bombard them with some firebolts. Which will do absolutely no damage, so let's not even bother with that anymore. Okay. Since we've got the money to afford a Dracolich, let's go make one. It'll take 4 turns for him to spawn, it'll take a long time to resurrect him from the undead, but it should be cool. I need gold, I need gold, I need gold. Which means I need a market. I need all the gold, all of the gold. I am the humans. Gold is the most valuable resource to me. So I must stockpile all of the gold. I'll have to apologize to Cryptia as well. I'm not constructing one of her temples just of yet, and she will probably be a little bit annoyed with me.
Attention!
Do you need our service?
Alright, that's enough. As productive as this alliance was, I'm afraid I'm going to have to declare war on you, Ragjar. You are not useful to this alliance anymore, and thus you must die. I'm sorry it has had to come to this. If you were a bit more stronger and actually posed a reasonable threat to me, then perhaps you could have done something to prevent this. But as it stands, you have not, and thus you must die. I apologize. I feel terrible, except that I don't. And you will fall to my forces. There is pretty much nothing you can do to stop this, so if you just surrender now, then it should be a bit easier on you. I'm about to bring in my double win units, so your fate will be very similar to the one of Anna the Benign, who dared to declare war on me in my temporary moment of weakness. Oh, and the green bats here, which have done a fine job in scouting out the area and actually taking care of a town. Let's see how he's renegotiating his forces. He's attacking my warriors, which have a reasonable amount of range resistance, so I'm not that concerned with the amount of damage he'll be able to pour on me. That Kraken is going to be a pain. He can't really damage my chosen warrior, so I wish he'd just go away. I tell you, when my Dracolich gets summoned, I'm gonna send it to kill some bears. Because those bears are getting on my nerves. Okay, Merchant of Rare Artifacts is offering me a Warlock's Chainmail, which is resistance to melee. I'm sorry, that doesn't seem very useful to me, so I think I'll pass on your generous offer. So sorry. Building buildings is actually getting quite tiresome now. As a point to bring up in this game, although it's kind of nice to the fact that you go around and make sure that all your units are doing something and everything is useful and all this fantastic business. I wish there was a little bit of automation. Not that much, just a little bit in order for me to just so I could make my units do relatively intelligent things without me having to babysit absolutely everyone and everything. Which is the case at the moment. Those bears are proving to be extremely painful, and that Leviathan, rather,
And us then.
is managing to survive against all odds, but Banefort, on the other hand, is not managing to survive at all. Banefort is actually in quite a lot of trouble if it cannot defend itself, and as the happenstance may be, it has no chance to defend itself. It is nearly destroyed, and I should be able to take it over due to massive amounts of high-tier units en masse. I think on the very next turn, our Temple to Chrome will be built, so that'll make us even stronger than before.
Blade Master.
Just die, elementals. You've proven to be very valiant, but you cannot stop me. Confident that they have no ability to attack my greenbats, I foolishly send them off to what is perhaps their doom.
Aye, Captain.
But maybe not. Maybe they'll indeed be fine, and the enemy will have no method of destroying the flying units. More destruction from Anna the Benign, who is trying desperately to defend her, but very, very soon I will have surrounded her main base of Spellhaven from absolutely every single side. Unless she can overtake Fort Wick, which might be possible. She might be able to do it. She could pull it off. I have faith in her. But alas, it seems like she was unsuccessful. The elementals continue to try to defend their base, and the bears move around.
The new temple has been built, my lord.
Okay, with the Temple of Crom being built,
Elven
I have access to build Blade Masters, which are like mini Master Blade Masters. They're very helpful. But let's see. Yeah, I can recruit the Blade Masters from them, but I have no way of actually recruiting them because I don't have the money for it. I just spent all my money on an upcoming Dracolich, which is why money is extremely important. You can get money either by stockpiling a whole bunch of food and just using the extra food to overcome the deficit in money, or you can just build money buildings. It's actually preferable to build direct money buildings because only half of my surplus food gets dispensed into my treasury. Livendell has reached size number 3, but unfortunately it will not save it. It did make it a lot hardier though, so maybe it will be able to put up a defense. The visiting Leviathan has died, and the bears are continuing to be a big pain for everyone.
You're faithful.
Okay. See if I can destroy these earth elementals now. With these earth elementals destroyed, I should then have the means to go into the portal. If I manage to destroy Bone Fort, then I can begin my first foothold on my rival, on my final rival,
Warriors!
which was relatively painless. I'm excited to have my Dracolich up and operational,
Ready to pillage?
because with that, I should be able to do something really cool. Does he not have a single...
Robbers.
I don't think he has a single, port at all. So he didn't think to build one to escape his first island.
Command us then.
Oh, the AI in this game, why are you so fantastic? And for completing my place, I managed to recruit Chrom's Housecarls, which are a very powerful unit, and they're elite archers. I'm going to put them to work immediately, and although they may not be that useful in taking over the Anna the Benign's remaining places, they can sure be useful in destroying those accursed goddamn bears.
What now? A new city has been founded, my lord.
And hooray. I believe my Dracolich will be done the very next turn. I hope. Nope, in 2 turns. So in 2 turns, the Death Star will be fully operational and will sweep across the world like a great wind. At least, to Rajah's credit, he has a lot more defenders than Anna the Benign does. Mostly because she wasted absolutely every single one of her defenders in a death-doomed assault on my main base. All her units were shot down in transit, so any pitiful attack she had in mind for my base just effectively got crushed. Very little she could do about that, though. Don't worry, Candy Cane Workshop, I am going to protect you from those bears which have been harassing you for forever, really. With that Earth Elemental near dead, I should be able to finally go to the other world. Not that I need to at this point, but it's cool to see. Let's build a gem mine there to increase our gem income. Let's build a market. Another market. Let's protect our base against the rat defenders, the rat assaulters. And hooray. With one final attack, we should be able to take over Livendell.
Stand right here.
And now the sole remaining town that she has is Spellhaven, which my Dracolich is going to swoop in and crush. I was going to give the Dracolich the ability to go and destroy the bears, but I've already got someone to do that. Let's remove all of our stuff around.
Yes, my lord.
And try to find the most effective way to maintain our assault. Okay. Those archers are pretty strong.
Do you need our service?
Plus they've got resistances to being attacked by ranged attacks, which is actually my main method of destruction. So dealing with this is going to be a little bit tricky.
Don't do that.
Not that tricky, but tricky enough to be interesting. Let's see what these Chrome's Housecarls can do. Let's set them up against some bears, and they managed to destroy them. Good for them. I'm excited to end this turn because the very next turn my battle cruiser will be operational. And it looks like my forces here will need to have some reinforcements. They managed to take over Bonefort, which was fantastic, but they're being harassed. They're being harassed a lot. The bears are moving around to attack the Candy Cane Workshop. And the trees have spotted Norcastle. Will that spell doom for the Norcastlians? Maybe. But with one final strike, the High Blade Master will destroy the Earth Elementals, march straight into the portal, and then go to a new world, which appears to be some kind of hellish landscape, with ashen deserts, with lava hills, and the only way back blocked by Earth Elementals on a portal. That seems very interesting for Mr. High Blade Master to deal with. Let's do some basic exploration of the other world before I crush the final enemy.
Groves, house girls.
They have a very strange way of speaking. Interesting. And with over 100 gold every single turn in generation, then I should have enough money to keep producing epic level units in order to maintain my assaults.
Hunters!
Let's kill the strong rats, because at the moment they're the only thing vulnerable to my ranged attacks. Fortunately, elemental damage, damage done by the wizards, is exceptionally effective against the undead. Very useful. And finally, wakey wakey, Mr. Dracolich is now completely operational. Let's put him into action after giving him a little bit of perks in order for him to be the very best that no one ever was. And to top it off, let's throw a elemental regeneration on him as well. So now he's effectively impossible to take down, a true behemoth. As his first act, he's going to walk up and crush those peasant settlers. His basic attack is a cleave. That's very useful. Yes, indeed, Anna the Benign is going to die, and there is nothing that she can do about it at all. Before this episode ends, how about we try to crush her and put her out of our misery so we can turn all of our attention instead on this new enemy I have picked a fight with. An enemy which is extremely powerful and may actually prove to put me in my place. Will he? I don't know. But I can certainly give my guys life weapon enchants, which will be able to deal some damage to them. Let's take a look at this other portal to the other worlds. And send our skeletons through the portal as well, because they can help. Rakjar's turn. For some strange reason, he's actually retreating his guys. Why he's doing this, I have no idea. These gentlemen are moving around to try to attack my elves, and are doing a damn good job of it. I'm a little bit concerned about how this assault's going to continue. Oh dear. Fortunately, I've got a flying unit in the defense of my town, which means that despite how effective they think they are, a melee unit cannot attack a flying unit unless they've also got flying.
The new spell research is complete.
Okay, we've got our life weapon enchant. Let's throw that on an elvish archer. So
Where
at
shall
the
we go?
very least, the elven archer will be able to do a decent amount of damage to one skeleton unit a turn. It's at this point I wish I had my priests still here, because my priests can actually do a solid amount of damage to skeletons. They use a special type of attack called a spirit attack, and spirit damage is extremely effective against skeletons and undead and their ilk. Let's level you up and cast a buff on you to prevent you from dying.
No,
Yeah, my assault is not going to be going that well, but I did level up, learn a spell called teleportation. Now what I can do with teleportation is summon my strongest unit from across the map to assist me in an assault somewhere else, which is something which may come into play very, very soon. Oh, Mr. Dracolich, let's walk up to Spellhaven and teach her the true meaning of fear.
vampires.
Ready to pillage!
Although she is bravely trying to block me off with body after body, she is unable to protect her base from my final assault. What will she do? I don't know. Will she be able to pull through this? I very much doubt it. Will this be the end of her? Indeed it might be. Unless she does something absolutely ridiculous and manages to pull something out of nowhere.
The battle calls!
Oh my goodness. You got some really strange voices, Mr. Housecarls. And on another plane,
Master.
the High Blade Master is going to go out and explore. See what he can see. Very interesting looking place here. And he's come across some vampires. He's dealt with vampires before, so I'm not terribly worried about that.
It's all ready.
And the Minotaur's leveled up. Hooray! More levels up for everything. If I click open the worlds panel, I can select which world I want to go to. This world is apparently called Voland. And the main world is called Ardania. I wonder what the remaining world's going to look like. Don't even know. Will I even be able to see? Or will the enemy mercilessly stand in my way? Probably that. Anyway, unfortunately I was unable to defend, or rather take over, Anna the Benign's remaining place of Spellhaven. But with my forces positioned as they are, it doesn't look like that'll be much effort at all. Anyway, I think this is where I'm going to call the episode. As usual, thanks for watching, everyone. Join me next time, which may or may not be the very last episode of Warlock Master the Arcane, and we'll see what happens from there. Goodbye for now.